A few years ago, I was introduced to this exotic fruit, which I initially thought was a regular Ribena, but it turned out not to be so. I did not like it, as after the first bite, I said this fruit was just not for me. It tasted like poison. It was stamy, a little bitter and sour, and I tossed out the entire 2-pound bag that I was given. Little did I know, I was tossing real medicine in the garbage. The one I had selected to eat was unripe and therefore inedible, but I did not know that at the time. That is why it always pays to be informed. My neighbor has this tree in his backyard. It is loaded with ripe fruits. And as a child growing up, I remembered drinking the bottled Ribena juice or the one in the small box. I was told that Ribena juice was good for my health. I thought it would be a good idea to try and make my own Ribena juice since the tree is so loaded and I did not want them to all go to waste. The tree is quite large and bears thousands of the fruit. As I did not know exactly how the juice was made, I visited the all-knowing Google and searched how to make Ribena juice. I was presented with a number of hits, but was a bit puzzled as the images of the Ribena tree and the fruit populated by Google looked absolutely nothing like this one. In fact, the only similarities are the deep purple color of the fruit and the shape. At first glance, that is, as on closer inspection, these are actually more oval shaped and much larger. It dawned on me that the one initially populated by Google is the real Ribena and this one is something else, or it could just be a variety of the real thing. This really piqued my curiosity and I launched into detective mode to find out more about this one grown in the backyard, as the persons that I know who own a tree refer to it as simply Ribena. I came across a web page that showed an image of the tree and it was referred to as Jamaican Ribena or Java Plum, and that's when I discovered that Ribena and Jamaican Ribena were indeed two different fruits. They look similar, but they are totally different. Launching the search by using the keywords Jamaican Ribena did not yield much information, so I searched for Java Plum and discovered a wealth of information. In addition to being referred to by several other names such as Black Plum, Jambolan, Malabar Plum, and Jamun, depending on the region of the world where it is located, it has many health benefits. I figure that with the type of health benefits found in this fruit, the reason we do not see more of it in the market and the supermarket could be because of its very short lifespan, as it spoils within 2 or 3 days after being picked if it is not refrigerated. Also, one of the reasons perhaps more persons do not plant this tree could be because of how big and widespread it can get. After discovering about the many health benefits, guess what? I was no longer hesitant about eating it, and my neighbor was kind enough to show me the best ones to eat. Eating it this time around, the experience was quite different, as now I know that the edible ones are large, black, very soft, really sweet, and a bit acidic. The one I had eaten before was slightly pink in color, so it was totally unripe. It is actually like eating a semi-hard candy dipped in weak and red label wine. If you have eaten this fruit before, you can just describe the taste in the comment section below. As soon as you touch the ripe ones, they fall easily off the stem. The unripe ones, though, are firmly fastened to the stem and do not fall as easily. The sweet flesh of the ripe fruit easily leaves the seed when you eat it. It has a very pleasant aroma and smells somewhat like grape and Otaheite apple. From my reading, I discovered some real good stuff about this plant. According to research conducted by Khalid Masoudi and Munir Ozturk, published 2020 in Biodiversity and Biomedicine, this fruit has been recorded to be anticancerous, antidiabetic, antioxidant, antibacterial, antifungal, and antidiarrheal due to its richness in many compounds. Also, in another article published 2018 by Mariel Calderon Oliver and Edith Ponce Alquicira, it is noted that myrcene is a flavonol that is found in grapes and Jambolan fruit, the same as Java Plum and Jamaican Ribena. Myrcene reduces the incidence of prostate cancer and diabetes in humans. This is due to its antioxidant capacity and therefore a decrease of lipids and oxidation of proteins, reducing the incidence of prostate cancer and diabetes in humans. This is wonderful stuff, people. Both cancer and diabetes are known to ravage the human body, and so many of us have either lost loved ones to these diseases or know of persons who are currently battling them. All I can say is that research has shown that based on the properties and compounds found in this fruit, consuming it in the right quantity can help to prevent cancerous cells from developing in our body. This plum has very high levels of antioxidants, which works in binding free radical cells that are the triggers of the growth of cancer cells. These are some of the other benefits I have discovered you can gain from eating this fruit. It improves hemoglobin count. It is loaded with vitamin C and iron and thereby increases your hemoglobin. It lowers blood pressure, so if you are hypertensive, then you might want to stay off the medications for a little while if you eat this fruit while it is in season. I wouldn't recommend you using both, as your blood pressure might get way too low and that could be really bad. Eating the fruit improves the health of skin and eyes. It contains astringent property and will help to keep your skin acne free. It is especially helpful for persons with oily skin. It keeps your heart healthy as it is loaded with potassium. It strengthens your gums and teeth, and it prevents infection. It helps to treat diabetes, as it can cure the symptoms of diabetes, including excess urination and thirst. It has low glycemic index, which keeps the blood sugar levels normal. The seeds, bark, and leaves of the tree can also be used for the treatment of diabetes. It minimizes the risk of liver disease. It helps to purify the blood. It improves the stamina of the body. The juice helps in removing weakness, treating anemia, treating sexual weakness, and helps to increase memory levels. It helps in treating headaches. The content of astringent substances present in the fruit relieves headaches with varying degrees of severity. If you suffer from migraines, you might want to try this fruit. Just wash a few and eat them and see if it helps alleviate the pain. Well, no matter how good and wonderful something seems, there will always be those drawbacks. As the saying goes, too much of one thing is good for nothing. So, although this superfood provides us with all manner of health benefits, It is said to be dangerous if overconsumed. Also, not everyone should consume it. It should be avoided some days before and after any kind of surgery, as it might lower the levels of blood sugar. Diabetic patients must take it carefully under supervision of their doctor. You must not eat it on empty stomach, and it is best to eat them after having a meal. People on fast for a long time must also not eat it. Avoid drinking milk at least 1 hour before and after eating it. Anyone suffering from edema or body swelling or having history of vomiting must avoid eating this fruit or drinking the juice. Avoid consuming too many at once, as it will give you a sore throat. Remember, it is acidic. As with any other food, it should be consumed in moderation to avoid any possible side effects. Excess intake of this fruit should be avoided, as it may lead to body pain and fever. Alright, let me give you a few more characteristics of this plant. The tree can grow up to 98 feet tall. The fruit is not the only medicinal part, as leaves and bark are also medicinal. Blossoms start appearing between March and April. The fruits develop by June. They start off green, then turn pink, and then black when fully ripe. You can start enjoying the fully ripe fruits between July and August. The fruit can also be made into sauces, jams, jelly, and syrup. As I am neither a doctor, nurse, pharmacist, nor possess any form of medical qualifications, I have absolutely no authority to provide medical advice, and therefore cannot say to you that by eating this fruit, drinking the juice, or making tea with the dried leaves, that you will be cured of cancer, diabetes, or any other disease. I am only sharing what I have discovered. It is always best to consult your trained health practitioner for medical advice and stick with their instructions. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. Like and share the video so more persons can be informed about this superfruit. And do keep safe and stay healthy.